There you are, my dear. Thanks for waiting so patiently, my friend. I got some good news. I found the secret archive, so come with me. Here it is, the gate that is keeping this delicious gossip from us. Are you ready? It would be rude to not let you open the lock. After all, I couldn't take the key without your help. Besides, we are partners in this little adventure. Let's see what is hidden in this archive, shall we? Just what I imagined. What a shame. Oh, don't you worry, dear. Let me help you with that. My apologies for the unpleasantness. I didn't think they put such a curse on that lock. But worry not, as I calculated you only took half of the effect. After all, you are not from this realm. This should help with the pain and the effect of the curse. Once you get back home, you should not have more trouble. Besides, you should take a look of the archive. Congratulations, my dear, you made it. Now, let's see what other people are currently living in the academy and why are their files being hidden. It seems that our demons can nest in any place we call home. The meaning of the power is one of the most spoken topics in the community of magic and arcane arts. What truly means to have power? What is the most important thing to do with it? What should be the main reason to study magic? What are the limits in the magic practices along the years? Many philosophers among the wizard community had studied the origin of power, the true meaning of it. They wrote books, defied laws, created their own communities surrounding themselves with those who share their own definition. There are many arcane users that have come together in magic circles, schools of magic, secret societies, cults, or even political sides in a war in order to defend their principles about power. At Academy, this kind of idealistic divisions exist too. The sons and daughters of the noble families represent their family ideals. The heads of each political side of the war write their agendas to lure more people to their sides. Arcanists teach their own close circles their ways of study and practice magic. However, not everyone likes to participate in such activities from a group or side of the story. There is always those who prefer to watch the world burn and regrow from the sidelines as mere observers of the history passing through their eyes. That's the case of one of the current guests of Mercury Tower, the charming Tremenant Augustus. most of the students or even professors didn't meet this visitor at the tower. Tremennan likes to spend his time at the library, reading documents and enjoying a cup of tea in a hidden corner of the many hallways of the arcane archive. A few students did indeed saw him as a silent shadow on the hallway or a mysterious character studying on the highest floors of the library. Other students have heard Cordelia complaining about how difficult is it to catch him by surprise while he sneaks on the forbidden places of the archive to borrow important books. Most of the people that have heard about the mysterious visitor at the library like to see it as a myth or a rumor. This is because not many students like to think that a creature is able to outsmart Cordelia in her territory. However, there have been a few people that have met this mysterious trickster. Usually, he doesn't like company while reading or investigating whatever he likes at academy, but sometimes he won't mind the company of any other student if they share the same level of silence or, in other cases, interesting or valuable information. The few times Tremennan has met another student, he presents himself as a polite and educated person, a curious traveler in search of interesting information or tales. And, in case anyone has been curious enough to start a conversation with him, they will discover how easy it is to talk to the fox-faced visitant. Many people will surprise themselves about how easy it was for them to spill their secrets to Tremennan while he listens politely, asking only a few questions and nothing about your story. Of course, that only brings more mystery to the nature of these guests of the academy. Not many students have met an Arcanoloth in their lives, so it's understandable how easy it was for them to lower their guard and fall into the dialectic trap that many fiends like him like to use to unravel the secrets of many mortals. Tremennan Augustus is a fiend who travels from the other planes of existence. His mission and agenda is still a secret. However, it seems that he is here under the permission of the Archmage, which points out that no student or habitant of the tower will be harmed directly by his actions. As many Arcanoloths, Tremennan is a cunning and ambitious fiend that likes to collect knowledge, secrets, and manipulate the information to benefit his own quest. Many of the Arcanoloths prefer to stay neutral in the Blood Wars, a war between devils and demons that have been reaping the hells from many sides. The Arcanoloth like to think that a neutral position will benefit the balance of the war, adding of course the possibility to commerce and deal with both sides of the war. Many people studying the phenomenon of the war had written theories claiming how common it is for the Arcanoloths to be manipulating both sides of the war in order to gain more benefit for themselves. In the case of Tremennan Augustus, he likes to see himself as a mere observer, a witness, a neutral spectator, preferring to see the war, the peace, and the ages passing through the sands of the time without interfering directly. After all, he doesn't need to do anything to still manipulate those around him in order to achieve the result he wants. And that's exactly the main reason to stay at Mercury Tower. Tremennan Augustus was called at the tower one day in order to witness a pact, a game, an unholy bet between the two sides of the Blood War. Bets and all rivalries? That's a song I can dance to. As many people know, Mercury Tower is one of the most prestigious academies in the kingdom. Most people saw the potential in this academy because the professorate is composed by brilliant and talented wizards, and because it has one of the biggest libraries about the arcane in the continent of Orna Magna. But other people came to the tower in search of alliances and connections. Many nobles of the kingdom studied here and expected their daughters and sons to follow the same path. After all, Carnestonia is a kingdom ruled by a magic council of archmages. The environment at the academy is defined by the many kinds of relationships or bonds created by its inhabitants. Most of them are alliances with ambitions and cunning plans to secure the influence of each noble family. Others are created by genuine interest and shared goals, a few others created by rivalry. It doesn't matter the kind of bond, The tower has seen plenty of legendary stories that started with the tiniest matter. As many people know, the friendship or enmity between two wizards can be the kind that lasts years, or in other cases, centuries. However, all the legendary tales of arcane users that cross planes of existence to meet again, or the dreadful stories about wizards that sell their souls in order to gain enough power to surpass their enemies, didn't match the case of Cecil and her eternal fight with her old friend, Lady Maldivar. It may not seem obvious at first sight, but the fiendish nature of Lady Maldivar can be quite obvious if you are minimally well read in demonology. For most of the students, Lady Maldivar seems to be an elegant and refined lady, probably a wealthy noblewoman from the northern lands. But in reality, Lady Maldivar is a proud and powerful demon who gained her fame as a mercenary in the Blood Wars. Apparently, she is an old arch-nemesis of Cecil, the devil who is in charge of teaching evocation magic at the school. However, they seem to interact more like old friends or rivals when they meet each other. She appeared one day at Mercury Tower, demanding to see Cecil just to be able to enjoy his humiliation for being captured by his real name. The details are not well known, but it seems that the Archmage talked to her in their office and proposed something to her. No one knows what it was, but apparently it was tempting enough to make her stay at the tower. That was how Lady Maldivar became the new professor for war magic, competing with Cecil to see whose students will surpass the others. The few people that know the truth between these two have serious doubts about their true intentions in this bet. Not many fiends will teach their secrets about magic arts to mortals without a good reason. However, it's obvious that the Archmage of the Tower have a good strategy to convince both of them, and the fact that Remeron Augustus, the Arcanologue, was summoned just to serve as a witness for this bet just means that there's something very important at the game. During her lessons, Lady Maldivar is a cold and ambitious teacher. She is competitive, demanding, and sometimes even cruel in order to push her students to the limit. War magic is a discipline quite rare and very demanding. A few of the students of war magic have nightmares or have dropped on the floor of exhaustion after their lessons. However, the ones that decide to challenge themselves with this path of magic become fierce magic users in the battlefield. When she is not torturing her students with her lessons, Lady Maldivar likes to take long walks and try to teach Cecil or Tremenant. Many of the students find this kind of relationship tender or even charming, but for those who know the true nature between these three characters in the tower, try to look in another direction and not be captivated by this apparently familiar relationship. After all, everybody knows that the mortals will never know the truth in some relationship that was forged in the very depths of hell. Hiding your heart behind your duty is a recipe for disaster. Most people in Calnestonia are used to the use of magic in their daily life. The most important noble families were formed by wizards or sorcerers. Many people pursue arcane-related jobs due to the high demand of spells, charms, and enchantments. Even the most humble families are familiarized with the use of enchanted teapots with rooms so the water stays warm for days, or even magical remedies to help the stock to survive the winter. Indeed, Calnestonia owes its extravagant lifestyle to the normalization of magic. That's why, when the Deluge Treaty was approved, the people of the kingdom suffered the consequences of the now limited use of magic. The Rainstorm Court, the magic council of archmages that governs the kingdom, decided this in order to maintain the peace between the two neighboring kingdoms which were preparing themselves to begin the war. Fortunately, Her Majesty, Queen Elaine Thubrick, arranged a truce, offering a neutral position for both sides. Promising that they won't partake in any side of the incoming war, Calnestonia will restrict the use and teaching of magic. Although these conditions didn't sit right with most of the population, many people agreed that a more reserved use of magic would be better than a war that could raise Calnestonia if caught in the middle. It has been many years since the agreement. Some people got used to the new routine, but others grew tired waiting to the end of this law. Of course, this affected life at the academy, which remains one of the few places where the magic is allowed. However, that didn't mean that certain restrictions and rules weren't implemented. That's why, when Marina de Ventes arrived at the tower as an ambassador of the crown of Castraleza, the most knew that the idea of breaking their new rules wouldn't be an easy task. Marina de Ventes is a known cleric of Ogma. Although Ogma wasn't one of the most important gods in Castraleza, Lady de Ventes has always been a diligent member of the political sphere in the eastern part of Castraleza. That's why she offered herself to represent the ideals of the crown in Mercury Tower. Her duties as an ambassador can be defined as a chronologist. She has to watch over the behavior and direction of the academy and send reports to make sure that the members of the academy are following the rules of the Deluxe Treaty. She likes to walk around with her parchments taking notes for studying. Like many clerics of Ogma, she is interested in preserving knowledge, although most students never know if she is taking notes of something for her own private study or for a potentially dangerous report. Even being from Castraleza, a country which prioritizes religion and military force, Marina is not against the use of arcane magic. She believes that nature and the capability of understanding it using any method like arcane arts is a skill gifted by the gods. That's why she thinks it could be a great tool if it's used on the right ways. She believes that the use of magic should be controlled and restricted to those that have only pure and good motives. That's why she disapproves of the methods of teaching of the academy. Generally, she won't talk to the students or interfere in the daily life of the academy. She prefers a more subtle approach to fill her documents. She's calm and polite while talking with professors, but many people feel a certain tone of doubt or judgment in her words when discussing certain topics. Although at the moment, this didn't annoy anyone or have a big problem. Even being a workaholic, Marina has a soft spot for delicious food. When she's not investigating the hallways and questioning professors about the goals of their lessons, she can be found drinking a cup of tea in the kitchens where she found a friend with Praline, the chef and head maid of the kitchen. Nevertheless, she's too proud to admit she has a sweet tooth, that she likes to take notes about her favorite species of songbirds and other personal projects she keeps in secret in her room. After all, she is in Mercury Tower for political duties for her country, or at least that's what she likes to tell to herself in the mirror every morning. I think that the art of lying is misunderstood nowadays. When the new law of the Deluxe Treaty was approved, not many people were surprised by how quickly the secret side of the commerce adapted the new reality of limited magic. Illegal deals of magic supplies saturated the black market. Clandestine clubs found a new public in those who long for the use of magic in many aspects of life. That's why, when the governors of Celatania, the green country of commerce and fruit gardens, accepted the truce, they decided to choose their ambassadors and messengers among those who were experts in more secret matters. When Dalil Saidi arrived at Mercury Tower, he brought the most luxurious gifts as a tribute to the Archmage and the very academy, as a gesture of gratitude for inviting him. He brought delicious foods and ingredients for the kitchens, a few rare books for the library, and his service as a bearer of the rare knowledge of blade song. Even though many people were suspicious of this extravagant entrance, Dalil quickly assured that he was only there to represent the best interests of his country and to secure the peace that the truce had brought. However, even with this charming attitude, his mere presence was more than enough to make those who had plans in the black market nervous. After all, Dalil Saidi, the prince of the Salt Spring, controlled the most important commerce routes, including those not authorized by any king or crown. Lord Saidi is a half-elf from the southern archipelago known as the Garnet Crown. He began his life as a traveler who lived his life in the sea as a cabin boy in ships which travel in commerce routes. He quickly learned the job of trader when he met his new family in a secret crew of pirates that controlled a few routes on the clandestine maps. When he was still young, he rescued a sea elf nobleman. This man taught him the lost art of the blade song, how to read the waves of the sea and how to speak the language of the coin. When he presented himself years later in the royal palace of Selatania, he captivated the nobles with his dance, the political council with his strategy, and the royal family with his ideals. They granted him the honorable title of sorcery, which brought some privileges. He used it to regulate the commerce routes to help the ones less fortunate. Although as a member of the royal guard now, he wasn't welcome anymore on the clandestine maps, but he always kept the promises he made to his family. That's why, when the revolutionaries rise after the murder of the royal family of Selatania, they forgive his life and even let him keep his ambassador title after discovering how he was helping the common folk in most of his trades. That's why he was chosen to be the eyes of Selatania, a man whose eyes can see through any illusions or deceit either created by magic or word, a liar who hunts other liars. Generally, Lord Saidi likes to walk among the gardens and enjoy the company of the travelers or visitors of the academy. He likes to talk with any kind of person. He believes that the nature of a country is not defined only by the quality of his governors, but by the well-being of the common folk. He's polite, attentive, and easy to talk to. That's why he found new friends on the tower regardless of their origin or ideals. He enjoys the company of Atreya Ribel and Mirage, the professors of enchantment and illusions. They had been seen together, gossiping and talking about culture, art, and travels in the higher gardens of the west side of the tower. Also, he developed a taste for teasing Lady Deventes. As diplomats of countries on opposite sides of a possible war, they bear different approaches, ideals, and agendas. Nevertheless, they like to fight, arguing. They see themselves as valuable adversaries on long conversations where, even being a bit passionate or tense on certain topics, they found a level of mutual respect as intellectuals, although most of the time these discussions ends up with Marina getting annoyed at his jokes and provocations, while Dalil enjoys the victory obtained by teasing her. However, Marina seemed to allow that kind of behavior once in a while, even with the possibility of becoming enemies if the balance of these two is broken. I advocate for older women excelling in their job, even if it is an evil one. The study of the arcane arts is divided into many different branches. Magic has the potential to be used in many ways, to create and destroy, to mend and to damage. In a magical society where the reality can be changed by practicing and studying, the true power of the magic comes from the very arcanist's choice. That's why, when the Magic Council decided to lead and protect the citizens of Calnestonia, they agreed that the best way to secure the well-being of the people is to control the use of magic. For that, they created laws, dictated the correct use and study of the arcane arts, and forbid certain practices. And to make sure that every citizen of Calnestonia followed the right paths, the Magic Council created a unique order of guardians to persecute, judge, and punish those who broke the magic laws. Since the Diluvian Guard was created, its fame was enough to frighten the minds of the young wizards. Most of the people never saw or heard the Diluvian Guard in action. However, that was the plan all along. The discretion and effectiveness of this order of paladins who hunted crooked mages was something every criminal in the arcane society feared the most. Nevertheless, the citizens of Calnestonia knew that the new love of magic with the Deluge Treaty wasn't a jester's tale when the Diluvian Guards started to patrol the streets wearing their black armors and menacing iron masks. Since the new laws were imposed, the Diluvian guards started persecuting and hunting those who broke the law, becoming the fierce soldiers of an army that controlled absolutely magic and sorcery. Until now, the local rules of the Mercury Tower had been reason enough to avoid the presence of the masked soldiers at the academy. That's why the inhabitants of the tower felt their magic freedom in danger when they saw Captain Cremain entering through the gates as a silent shadow. Like many powerful members of the Order, the past of Lady Cremain is a mystery. The Order was formed to hunt wizards and other kind of arcane users. To hunt people that are able to make the flames dance, control other people's mind, or call other creatures from other realms of existence, they needed a special kind of training. The exact method for this is still a secret, but there are rumors about children buyed from orphanages or taken from the streets, lost children that disappear on dark carriages to never be seen again. Rumors that indicate how the soldiers were stripped away from their memories and emotions so they can resist being charmed, to be harmed, or to be controlled by any magical mean. Of course, these are unconfirmed stories, but the fact that the members of these guards seem to be almost immune to magic certainly gives the people plenty of room for speculation. In the case of Lorelei Cremain, the captain of the Diluvian Guard, people tend to assume that some rumors or secrets are better left that way. When the captain stands in silence in a room, she casts an intimidating aura around her, making the people scared enough to not talk to her. However, the few times that she pronounces a few words, her voice is calm, cold, and distant. She is a mature woman who wears scars on her face from facing many battles. Most soldiers of her age had plenty of stories to tell or be famous for, but as a member of this order, her whole legend seemed a blank page, at least for the common folk. She arrived at the tower not as the captain of the order, but as the bodyguard of the most recent member of the High Magical Circle, a young yet talented wizard whose mother was the former member of the council until she died. The young archmage was nominated only 2 years ago. Then the captain became her bodyguard. Although her duty is to protect the members of the council, her oath to make sure the magical laws are followed is still in force. The silent Diluvian guard walks down the hallways being looked at with spite, fear, and contempt. But her face won't change. She has only one mission, and her goal is law. Perfectionism is her worst enemy, but in her case I won't say anything. In the old times, there were many legends who told stories about the first magic practices. Stories that told us how the first wizards were called children of the stars. Stories that described how the power of the magic was written in the night sky, and those who studied the stars and the celestial bodies will be able to understand the very fabric of reality to control it. That's why the symbology of the stars are represented in the world of the arcane arts and in magical societies. In Callistonia, the iconography of astrology is presented everywhere. The crest of the kingdom is an eclipse. This symbolizes the union between the crown, represented by the star of the sun, and the tower, represented by the star of the moon. As for the other archmages of the council, they are represented by different stars as well. Many astrologers have studied the life and existence of the stars, realizing that those celestial bodies that fill the night sky with light and magic are immortal and were placed by the gods. However, even being timeless creations doesn't mean that the people that were blessed by those stars are immortal as well. The symbol of the stars symbolizes power, mysticism, and legacy. That's why when Lavinia Windelur became an archmage and was called by the Rainstorm Court to be nominated to inherit the position of her mother, many people saw it as a blessing from the sky. Lavinia Windelur was very young when she became an archmage, or at least that's what people thought when she arrived at the tower for the first time to pass their trial. But the archmage of the tower and other members of the council knew the truth. Her mother was a talented wizard but wanted to create a family of her own. However, the grace of the gods was not on her side and couldn't bear any child. She studied all rituals of fertility, forgotten spells, even forbidden magic in secret, but nothing was able to give her a child of her own flesh, capable of feeling the magic the way she did. That's why, after many years of isolation, she was able to refine a way to perfectionate the art of creating a herself doll. She made her unique, the perfect child any parent could imagine. Her magical abilities were unlimited from the beginning and, with the guidance of her mother, Lavinia quickly became one of the most talented wizards in the kingdom. Nevertheless, after her mother passed away, Lavinia decided to follow their mother's path and prepare herself for years to become a member of the council. Lavinia was only 25 years old when she passed the trial and became an archmage. However, her body made of porcelain with delicate visage and elegant poise made her seem like a little human child or a young halfling of childlike expression. Lady Windelure likes to present herself as a proud and polite member of the council. Her smile is kind and her words respectful. She is poised and her gestures full of grace. Most people mistake her for a child until her perfect mannerism reveals her constructed nature. However, despite his innocent demeanor, her political skills are formidable and her arcane talents fearsome. She is one of the most relentless members of the council. Her ruthless nature is not shown often, but when she decides to show her true face is because she is sure she is already going to get what she wants. Lavinia is known to be perfectionist and obsessed with her public image. Her determination is fueled by her own insecurity, a fissure on the right side of her porcelain face that seems to never disappear no matter the kind of mend or magic is used. That's why most of the time, Lavinia prefers to hide the mark of her shame with masks or different accessories. Her duty in the academy is to make sure the goals and ideals of the Magic Council are followed and well presented in the academy. She acts as an ambassador of the interests of the Magic Council under the Lutz Treaty. Her mission is to secure peace between the countries no matter the cost. Most people in the Arcane Art Society knows her well for her determination to accomplish what she intends. That explains the feast of fear and worry when Lavinia Windelure arrived at Mercury Tower accompanied by the captain of the Diluvian Guard, assuring the suspicion that the Rainstorm Court had achieved what they were trying to get for years, to take control of the academy with love and fear. My, isn't this interesting? Demons and other fiends here at the academy, under a binding spell? I cannot believe it. This is most entertaining. However, business is the priority here. I'm more than sure that certain wildflowers are gonna pay such a price for this specific information. But worry not, my dear, they won't miss anything, I promise. Now, little Sprout, what do you think about all of these important individuals living here as well? It seems that the political tension between Castraleza and Celatania has arrived even here. What a bore. But you don't have to worry about any of that, my dear. Now, let me help you with your journey back home. Now, my little Sprout, be nice with the Airborne ones. They will guide you through the mist until you are safe home. The same goes to you, children of the skies. They are friends of mine, so be gentle. Did I make myself clear? The boarding then is absolutely forbidden. Remember this adventure dearly. You will do the same. Of course, remember to like and share this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. Hope to see you soon, dearly traveler. Farewell.